Imagine opening an old book and realizing every page is trying to speak to you, but in a language nobody can understand. The pages are small. The ink is brown. The drawings are strange. Unknown plants, star circles, mysterious bathing pools, and lines of looping symbols that look almost familiar but never become readable. This is the Voynich Manuscript. It is one of the most mysterious books in the world, and it is completely real. Today it is kept at Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library, where it is known as Beinecke MS-408. Scholars, codebreakers, linguists, historians, botanists, and amateur detectives have all tried to understand it. But the book remains silent. So let us follow this impossible manuscript from medieval Europe to royal courts, forgotten libraries, modern laboratories, and the endless human desire to solve a mystery. The Voynich Manuscript was written by hand on vellum, a writing material made from prepared animal skin. In the Middle Ages, creating a book like this was slow, expensive, and careful work. Radiocarbon testing of the vellum places it in the early 1400s, most often between 1404 and 1438. That means the material comes from the age of late medieval Europe, when old traditions were meeting the first light of the Renaissance. But the manuscript does not behave like an ordinary medieval book. Many manuscripts from that time contain prayers, medical recipes, calendars, or copied knowledge. The Voynich Manuscript seems to belong to that world, yet refuses to fit inside it. Its text runs from left to right in smooth, confident lines. There are repeated words, paragraphs, and sections. It looks like someone knew exactly what they were saying. But no one knows what it says. Modern researchers often call the unknown script Voynichese. It has patterns, it has rhythm. Some symbols appear often, others rarely. It looks almost like a real language. Almost. And that one word is why the mystery has survived. If the writing is the lock, the illustrations are the bait. The first major section is filled with plants. At first, it looks like a medieval herbal, a book describing plants and their uses, but then you look closer. The leaves, flowers, and roots often do not match known plants. Some look like impossible combinations of nature. Then come diagrams with suns, moons, stars, and zodiac-like symbols. In medieval Europe, astrology and medicine were often connected, so perhaps this book was medical or astrological. But then it becomes even stranger. One section shows small, naked female figures standing in green pools and blue channels. Near the end, shorter paragraphs look like recipes or notes, often marked with star-like symbols. The modern story begins in 1912. Wilfrid Voynich was a Polish-born rare book dealer with a dramatic life. In 1912, he acquired a group of manuscripts from the Jesuit Villa Mondragone near Rome. Among them was a strange book written in an unknown script. Voynich believed he had discovered something extraordinary. Inside was a letter from 1665 or 1666 by John Marek Marci, a scholar from Prague, to the Jesuit scholar Athanasius Kircher in Rome. Marci asked Kircher to help read it and claimed it had once belonged to Emperor Rudolf II. According to the letter, Rudolf may have paid 600 ducats for it, believing it was written by Roger Bacon, the famous medieval philosopher and friar. But modern evidence creates a problem. Roger Bacon lived in the 1200s, while the vellum dates to the early 1400s, so the Bacon theory is almost certainly wrong. Long before Wilfrid Voynich found the book, it had already confused learned men in Europe. One of its earliest confirmed owners was Georg Baresch, an alchemist in Prague during the 1600s. Baresch had the manuscript in his library for years and could not read it. To him, it was like a sphinx, silent, ancient, and impossible to understand. Baresch heard about Athanasius Kircher, a famous Jesuit scholar in Rome known for studying ancient languages. So Baresch sent him copies of some pages and asked for help. Kircher did not solve it. After Baresch died, the manuscript passed to Marek Marci, who later sent it to Kircher. From there, it likely entered Jesuit collections and disappeared from public attention for centuries. This history proves the manuscript was not invented by Wilfrid Voynich. People were already puzzled by it in the 1600s. They already believed it was old and possibly important. In the 20th century, the manuscript attracted a new kind of hunter, the codebreaker. If the writing was not a known language, maybe ordinary words had been transformed into secret symbols. Some serious minds studied it, including William F. Friedman, one of America's most important codebreakers. If anyone could unlock a strange cipher, people thought, someone like him had a chance. But the manuscript resisted. Voynich has patterns that look language-like, but not in the way researchers expect. Some words repeat often. Some symbols appear in regular positions. The text looks organized, but it has never been convincingly matched to any proposed language. Some researchers thought it was a complex cipher. Others suggested an artificial language, shorthand, or a private writing system. Some argued it might be meaningless text designed to look meaningful. The Voynich manuscript has inspired many theories. One theory says it is a hoax. Perhaps someone created a fake book to impress or deceive a wealthy collector. If Emperor Rudolf II really paid a large amount for it, the motive would be clear. But a hoax this large would still require enormous effort. The manuscript contains fluent-looking script, complex illustrations, and repeated patterns. If it is fake, it is not a lazy fake. Another theory says it records a real language in an unknown writing system. Maybe it preserves a lost language, a private alphabet, or a secret tradition. But no accepted translation exists. Many people have claimed to solve it. Again and again, experts find problems. A true solution must read the whole manuscript consistently, not just one line or one page. A third theory says it is a medical or scientific work. The plants, star charts, bathing figures, and recipe-like sections seem to point in that direction. Medieval medicine often mixed herbs, astrology, body theory, and spiritual ideas. But if it is practical, why hide it behind unreadable writing? Maybe the author wanted privacy. Maybe the script protected valuable recipes. Maybe it belonged to a small community. Or maybe it was never meant for outsiders at all. Every answer opens another door. Modern science has helped us understand the physical book, even while the words remain locked. Radiocarbon dating gave the vellum an early 15th century date. Material studies suggest the inks and pigments fit medieval manuscript making. High-resolution images now let researchers study the pages without touching the fragile original. Computers have also changed the investigation. Digital analysis can count symbols, compare word patterns, and test whether the text behaves like language, code, or nonsense. The results remain intriguing but not decisive. A historian sees medieval plants, stars, baths, and recipes. A cryptographer sees hidden rules. A linguist sees possible grammar. A skeptic sees a beautiful fake. An artist sees imagination. Perhaps that is the true power of the Voynich manuscript. It tells us as much about ourselves as it does about the past. The Voynich manuscript matters because it reminds us that history is not fully solved. We often imagine the past as a finished story. Kings ruled, wars happened, cities rose and fell, and historians wrote everything down. But this book proves that the past still has locked rooms. Here is a real object from medieval Europe. It survived collectors, religious orders, and centuries of silence. It passed from unknown hands to Prague alchemists, Jesuit scholars, rare book dealers, and finally Yale. And after all that, it still refuses to explain itself. Because the manuscript invites better questions. Who made it? Who read it? Was it useful, sacred, scientific, playful, secret, or fraudulent? Sometimes history's greatest discovery isn't finding an answer. It's discovering how much is still waiting to be understood. Today, the Voynich Manuscript is no longer hidden. Digital images allow anyone to study it. Researchers and amateur detectives still search for repeated words, plant clues, star patterns, and forgotten alphabets. Every few years, a new solution appears. Someone says it is Latin, someone says it is Turkish, someone says it is Hebrew, a women's health manual, a coded herbal, a map, a ritual book, or nonsense. But the standard of proof is high. A real solution must explain the whole system, read page after page consistently, and make historical sense. And maybe that is why the Voynich Manuscript has become legendary. It is not a treasure chest, a weapon, or a royal crown. It is a small, fragile, handwritten book, yet it has challenged some of the smartest people in the world. One day, someone may discover the key, a matching alphabet, a forgotten note, or a pattern no one has noticed before. But until that day, the Voynich Manuscript remains a voice from the past, speaking in a language we cannot hear. And that is the wonder of it. A book does not need to be understood to change history. Sometimes all it has to do is survive. Thank you for watching Mark's History Channel. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, leave a like, subscribe, and join us again for more stories from the past.